Hello to everyone in the chat. Give me just a second. Hello to the VOD viewers as well. Hope you're having a good one. If not, we'll sort that with some Division 2 action around Silverstone. Give me just a second. I'm going to load the chat up on my phone now. I believe I had to uninstall Twitch. I did. Let me reinstall that. Take just a second. I'll be muted up till then, just because I am munching on some snacks just to keep me going. It's saying everyone's connection in the server is bad. When I have the stream up, we'll do a quick quality check on it and make sure that things are running smooth. Oh, there we go, back to normal. No, I did not want to click on that notification. I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb in a second as well, so the notification sounds stop. Just it has to be loud for me to hear it over the noise at work. Hello. Hello to Ramsey, who's in the chat already. Good day. Sound is going through alright. Let me get my music up. Very much going through a weird music phase at the moment. If anyone's heard of Ramstein, that's where I'm at right now. Holiday was brilliant. I'll be honest, it's the one that if you have a week or a meet up with mates or a holiday that you most look forward to in the year, it's my equivalent. I've been to that camp. That was my 15th time going, if you count the day visit when I was a month old, and that is how mad it is. So it's more of a volunteering thing. I volunteer on a camp for people with disabilities, but a lot of the people there have known me. Well, a lot of them have pictures holding me as a baby. So that's how it goes. Get to meet other good friends. I have a story that I'll tell if things get dull, but every night I pull an all-nighter, and the one I picked to do an all-nighter, my friend drank a bit much. So I'll go into detail for those who want to hear that if we get boring later on. But I'm so glad to be back. My screen was gone when I got back because I left my room in such a mess. So sorted that out. That took me a couple days of hard graft to get everything sorted. Got home, got given my screen, and we are here. Ooh. I'll tell you what, Ramsey. Give me 2 seconds, I can give you the exact figure on that. It seems we're going. Seems the only track that's been tested publicly is Vegas. So unfortunately, I can't give a figure on that. Oh, in England it's 70%. Whoa. That is about right for July in England, can't lie. Was this year at least. Wet race is the message. Wet race. So we will see the dynamic of difference in setups. Those who go dry to punish their race, maybe run a hybrid setup for the race. Those who go all out wet setup, who will struggle big time here. A wet setup turned into a partial dry setup using only front wing diff changes, brake bias and pressures. Will be one that will still be competitive. And that is what should be done. I'm going to mute for a little bit just to have some food because yeah, I've only had one meal today, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Sorry for the absence, I'm now back, and we can continue the show. As it stands, Bloomsy has very much cemented himself as a firm P1. Not really even a challenge, Raven to B7. Alrighty, Bloomsy's on another fly. Let's have a look at this. This is going to be, quite frankly, elegant from Bloomsy. This is an example of how to drive at quite a solid level that realistically is Div 1 level. Let's be real. For me, I did a practice session with the Haas lads a second ago. Oh, right before this, I should say. And time-wise, I, on not too much practice, was on about 27 to 27.3 in quali trim. So if I put in a bit more practice, realistically I'd be mid to low 26s. Bloomsy is not far off that on his banker. Scary stuff. I won't be racing Div 1 this week as well. It will be my finale commentating on Div 1. I'll keep going Div 2. Hell yeah, all day. As to the line goes, Bloomsy at 26.4. Reminder, that's only his second lap. Right now he sits at the top, a second clear of Drem, who isn't improving and has just made an error. Hampan goes to P3. Strong lap from him. About what he did on his final lap in quali, so keeps us up. Should be P2. Same as Saji. There is pace there. Oh, Hawash. It's a snap for the Alpine. Very much a solid driver all season now in the Alpine Hawash. So I'm interested to see if he can continue that at Silverstone. Typically a strong track for him. It'll be exciting to see what he can do. And if he can keep up the incredible form. Alrighty, to the line he comes. No improvement to be found on that lap, clearly. Backing off, ready to go for another. Got to be careful of time though. You really want that fresh set of tyres towards the end. Horn has gone P2, still not broken within a second of Bloomsy though. Raven as well has improved. With Nico on a fly, he's a tenth down. Ramsey on a flyer, I'm not sure. Ramsey's biggest note for improvement. He has been getting better, I have noticed it. And he's shifting at the correct marks now. 12, maybe just above 12 in quali trim. He's downshifting there, very good. One thing you'll notice from his onboard though is he's not placing the car where it needs to be often enough. Like there was very solid, maybe turned in a bit early. That was good from Ramsey, and the sector time shows. He's overusing the ERS as well. That was strong, very, very solid. Could have done with being in 6th just to get a launch, but again, that's a mistake I was making. There again, it is strong. It is difficult to find time to improve when it's like that, but quite frankly, for Ramsey, the one thing I could advise, and for those who aren't quite at the pace, is watch what line the esports guys take. You don't have to take it perfectly. You don't have to be bang on their line with their throttle and steering inputs, because then guess what, you'll be in F1 esports. But copy their lines, because they do them for a reason. If you can mirror their lines and get good at it with your style, then you naturally time will come and you'll build on your confidence. Yeah, sorry to see you're not out there, Carl. Hopefully you enjoy watching the VOD view back. So I've realised I'm still following the same driver. Here we go then. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the final round of flyers, and the top 3 are all in their out laps. Hawash on a flyer, but he's backed off. Unless he's coming into the pits this lap, no. Hawash will start his flyer right here, right now. Raven, Hampan, Coffee, Pafia, Hammer and Jackie all on warm-up laps, on their out laps. Saji's on a flyer as well in the Haas. Heads towards Cops. Does he downshift to 7th? Naughty, naughty. Still gets a good launch out the corner though. Oi, 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 all over the inside curb. Keeps it together. He's a 10th down. He's got to work miracles in this final sector to find any kind of lap time in the Haas car. Down to 6th he'll go, chucking it in, using the throttle on the exit, doing all he can, burning the overtake, using the RS. There we go. Nice and confident on turn in towards the line. What will it be for Saji? Is there an improvement? Yes, there is. Up to P8 provisionally. But now we will look at these guys as Drem has been disqualified for going the wrong way. What on earth has just happened there? I saw that he was going the wrong way when I flashed past the camera, but maybe he spun and trying to recover it, and it's just completely DSQ'd him. That is drama, as Drem is out of the session, as we now ride on board with who you'd have to say is going to be the pole sitter realistically here, unless Horn produces an absolute welzy of a lap time. It is not going to be anywhere close. Horn is 2 tenths down. Are we about to see arguably the single most dominant pole in Division 2 history from Bloomsy? Puffia goes P3, Hawash P4, checkered flag for them, checkered flag for Nico and Ramsey, 11th and 12th, checkered flag for Hammer, he goes P6. Let's have a look. Checkered flag for Bloomsy, all over them 2 curbs, getting all over the oversteer, snapping like crazy. It is not an improvement for Horn. Bloomsy takes pole by over a second. Ah, that is such a shame. Drem just trying to be good in terms of racecraft and racing politeness, and it disqualified him for waiting. As that was Coffee goes P2. Pole will not be taken by a second. Hampan P3. Where does Raven go? P5. Milanis still on a flyer, but I think he's going slow at the infield of Stowe. Indeed he is. That is your qualifying over. Bloomsy, Coffee, Hampan, your top three, followed by Horn, Raven, Jackie, Gabbana, Puffier, Hawash, Hammer, and Milanis rounds out the top 10 with Saji, Nico, Ramsey, and the disqualified Drem, who is going to be a big mover after the disqualification, rounding out the final places on the grid. So we just wait for the clock to run out. Or Milanis to retire, and Milanis retires. Still good, Ramsey. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I got some advice. I think your racing lines are so close, except Bloomsy, yeah. Bloomsy is very much a different quality driver. I am one to express my opinions, and that is my opinion. 9/10, pole, Hampan and Coffee, the only ones within a second. That is ridiculous. Bloomsy has developed a lot since he joined Division 2. He belongs in Div 1 realistically. When he wins the title, he'll be beating me. Because I could get that time if I swear. That would be my peak, where I am right now. He would slot right in upper mid pack, lower front pack. And there you go. Silverstone has produced rain. A reminder, do not ready up unless you are given the signal by the host, and the host only. If park firm is off, give it a go. Put the wet setup on. And if you could put it on before, smart. The message is do not ready up until very soon. Ready. Here we go then. 5 red lights for a very rainy Silverstone. And it is go. Go and go. Decent start for Coffee. Better start for Hampan though, who's all up, all over the back of Bloomsy. This one going to be quite a tough one. It is all about survival here. That is going to be what gets you the points. Never mind winning. Just keeping the car facing forwards in these early laps is the challenge for these drivers, as that's a car not facing forwards. That's Hammer losing the back end, bouncing off a bunch of other cars. He might have some kind of damage after that, as will be the driver who he tagged mid-spin. Here comes Raven though on Jackie. Round the outside he goes. That might not work. Indeed gets cut off. So he might poke his nose round the outside here. Doesn't. Thinks best of it. Saji looks to his inside as well. Forces him to take a wide line on exit. The battling incredibly close here. The leaders separated by just 3 tenths. The leaders are very, very, very close through Magnus and Beckett's. We'll keep an eye on it. Here comes Hampan all over the back of Bloomsy. It's lap 1. DRS will not be enabled throughout the entire race due to this rain. No attack from Hampan. He remains patient as wide goes Bloomsy. Hampan sees an open door and invites himself through it. This is going to be a battle that rages on all race long as Bloomsy runs a little bit wide there as he's starting to struggle in these conditions, or should I say struggling to get up to speed in these conditions. It's so tough to figure out how to go right around this track, especially when turn 1 isn't even flat. Yellow flags further back. That'll be for Jackie Gabbana, has had a bit of an incident. Hawash is in the mix as well, as very much Bloomsy and Hampan pulling away from the rest. Hampan through Luffield, still all over the back of Bloomsy. This is a track I don't need a track map to remember the corner names at, but that's going to be wide for Hampan, and a warning will be on the marks because of that. Very careful through Copse Corner. This track, a monstrosity to drive in the wet, it must be said. High speed in the wet, snaps of oversteer galore is pretty much the memo as Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel fly by, despite the fact that it is downpouring at Silverstone. Sunny Silverstone, not so sunny anymore. As through Stowe Corner, it's clear that Hampan does not have the pace on the straight, but has it in the corner, so Hampan running a wet setup, it would seem. Smart choice from the Haas driver, is a bit snappy there on the exit. Horn puffier and Raven getting involved in a fight. Here comes Raven on Horn side by side through the final corners, and Horn will have Drem to contend with, who is on an almighty charge as well. He's running a wet setup as well, it would seem. He's up to P6 already. Horn loses 2 positions in as many corners as Drem will look to continue the rise as Ramsey goes wide. Ooh, a little tag on the back of Saji. He's snapping left, right and centre here. He's got to get this slide under control. Does a good job of it. He's got Rogue Nico all over his big gearbox. And he has to reset himself mentally here down the straight for Brooklands and Luffield. famously Hamilton's favourite complex in the world. Which, well, not famously, it's a bit of a obscure thing to say, to know. He said that to, oh gosh, Sir Frank Williams when he drove him around the track in 2019. There you go. There's some funny facts. Love to chuck them out there every now and then. Let's reload the chat on my phone because I've closed that as well. As here comes Hampan, not quite. He'll know patience is key here, but once he gets past, the key will be pulling away while keeping the tyres in a strong window. As there we go, chat is reopened now. It's saying it's not available. Let me reload my stream. As indeed, Drem says, a half wet setup though, did Big Brain, indeed. It's helping so far as Saji and Horn side by side further back. Horn gets past quite comfortably. Seems like Hampan is driving the wheels off of it. He's got to be careful of ERS though. It's something that I did warn him about. As it seems that Horn has had a nightmare corner in the mix somewhere. And has had a bit of a spincident. Ramsey, Nico, all passing him. There goes Hammer. Is there a front wing on that car? Yes, there is. It just looks like he's got in a bit of a poor groove. Oh, indeed, he is in a poor groove. Sending it too hard in the corner. Milanist nearly collapsed him in the Ferrari. Out front, though, Bloomsy still leads Hampan on lap 4. It is tight as ever. Drem is all over the back of Raven. Puffy are the same for Coffee, and Hampan the same for Bloomsy. We've got a fight for 5th, a fight for 3rd, a fight for 1st. Looking further down the grid, we have everyone from 7th down to 11th. Maybe you could count up to 13th for... Yeah, basically everyone on the grid is in some kind of fight right now. On lap 4, it continues. Same ERS numbers for the both of Bloomsy and Hampan. As Bloomsy sets the fastest lap. Hampan a couple tenths off that. But there will be no concerns for Hampan. He knows he's able to stick with Bloomsy quite comfortably. And he may be able to undercut him later on as fresh, wet tyres perform so much better. My sources tell me that the rain will stay all race as well. On lap 10, I will also... actually, I'm going to restart the party now. Make sure I don't go in game chat. We are back. New party made, just so we don't clock to game chat. And it's the same old, same old. Battles left, right and centre. I mean by same old, same old. Here is Puffier and Coffee fighting it out for the final rostrum position. Side by side, the two green machines. The Kick Sauber and the Aston Martin. Side by side as they head towards Cops. As Puffier does go a little bit wide, Coffee may look to stay in the mix because of that. They're already 10 seconds behind Bloomsy and Hampan in their own world today after Bloomsy set pole by near enough 9 tenths. Just 2 thousandths under, 9 tenths of a second, I believe. He has Hampan for company though. Well, it seems that the Bloomsy is setting into a groove as here comes Raven. He's saved up his ERS and burning it down the straight. He gets past Coffee. As Ramsey gets a time penalty. He'll be getting bummed out about it, but this is a strong showing from Ramsey in the wet. Hammer has dropped off the back of him now. I always say the naturally talented drivers show their marvels and what they're worth in the wet, and Ramsey right now showing there is pace in that car, in himself. He just has to unlock it in the dry, so it must be just struggling to get up to speed, literally. Because when it slows down, The natural talent kicks in. Bit of a snap there from Drem. Raven looks to close in on the back of Puffier. This is a 4-car fight for the final podium, which is ridiculous to be saying, it has to be said. Seems like Bloomsy is starting to pull away out front. But Hampan, he'll sniff the victory and will be trying to settle into a groove. There's Drem. Yeah, Hampan's so much stronger through the Magnuson Beckett. He gains 4 attempts through that section. Is that a little bit wide for Coffee? But the RS numbers will mean Coffee should be safe here. Overtake being burned like crazy for Drem. Will we see an attempt here? We do not. This is the thing, it is so much harder to pass, as there's a snap there for Coffee. No contact was made. I was on board with Drem at the time as Hampan sets the fastest lap of the race. There is pressure mounting on the shoulders of Bloomsy. And Hampan looking to see if he can crack that armor, find the chink in the chain of Bloomsy. We've seen it a couple times this season with Bloomsy making a few small errors here and there. I believe an error cost him the win at Japan. At round 1 of the season, there's been a couple more here and there. Big mistakes that have cost him positions throughout the season. And Hampan will know that and will look to exploit that. Bloomsy has not been in the same race as Hampan most of the time, so does not see how he does, as Ramsey getting passed here by Hammer. But sticking with him, to be fair to Ramsey. A bit of a snap though. Ooh, Saji a bit snappy. This Bloomsy and Hampan extremely close on lap 7. We've still got battles all over. It will take me half a lap just to list all of them at this point. Bloomsy goes fastest, Hampan goes faster still. These two elevating themselves to a different level here. They are 10 seconds clear of Puffier and lapping so much quicker. They are lapping half a second quicker as it stands right now. And already the last car is 24 seconds off the lead. We might even see someone get lapped this race if there's a couple mistakes. Ooh, snap for Hampan. Well held. He's got to be careful not to let them wets overheat, and he's got to be careful to stay in the slipstream as well, which he's lost. But he's now going to burn some fuel. I say fuel because I saw his fuel light come on. It is flashing on and off right now. Means the game thinks he's not got enough fuel, but he's gone equal on fuel. That I can say. He must have. As here he comes from being so far behind after the mistake. Will there be an attempt here from Hampan? He certainly looks to the inside. Forces Bloomsy a little bit off of his comfort zone. Nothing doing, but that shows Bloomsy, even when Hampan's made a mistake, he locks in and is instantly on your gearbox and attacking you. Ominous sign there for Bloomsy, but Hampan starting to over push now. He needs to rein it in a little bit. As you can see, the car a bit snappy through 1 there. With the downshift to 6, the rear end not agreeing. Maybe 7th there next lap. His tyre temperature's starting to skyrocket. There lies his issue. He needs to keep that wheel spin in check. As tyres get older, they naturally want to slide about a more even, super hard, or super soft, I should say, wet compound tyres. Hampan will try and rein in that oversteer. So we'll keep an eye on this fight further back for now. Horn, after the mistakes earlier on, looking to bounce back here. No attempt this lap from Hampan. Seems like both the leaders have dropped out of their groove in terms of lap time. A tenth off in the last lap there. It's Puffier. See what he can do this lap. Still a couple tenths of a second faster actually than the leaders. So maybe the second pack could close in on the leaders. All to play for right now, must be said. Jackie's dropping off the back of Ramsey. Hammer and Millen is sticking with Jackie though, as that's wide there for Bloomsy. They'll have to get out the throttle, and now Hampan will sniff a chance. Look at this. Look at the cornering speed advantage for Hampan. He's all over the back of Bloomsy here. This might be it. This might be the chance. Overtake being deployed from both drivers. Here he goes. To the inside goes Hampan. Looking for the lead of the race now. Sends it. He's off the braking line. He wouldn't have seen his brake marker. Bloomsy holds it for now, but Hampan might sniff the inside line. Sticks behind. Does he force Bloomsy to brake late? No, he doesn't. But that is relief for Bloomsy after a couple mistakes in the mix. That's a big mistake though for Hampan. Well saved. And we are reset in terms of the gap at the front. Another big chance flies by for Hampan. He will get plenty more of them, but he's going to have to start capitalising. Jackie unable to stick with Ramsey, as he has closed in a little bit. It seemed like these guys overall are quicker than Ramsey, but Ramsey's staying more consistent, sticking with the likes of Hawash. Gap at the front opening up now. This Puffier is closing in on the leaders, not at a rate of knots, not enough to be on them at the end of the race, but he is closing. Right about now we will see tyre wear start to affect our drivers as well. But as the fuel's been coming off, it's been equaling out, but about now things will start to get a bit leery. We may see a mistake here or there. Jackie so much more confident at the high speed than Ramsey, it would seem. Ramsey making a couple of mistakes. Jackie settling into some sort of groove. A mix of both, it would seem. Snapping all over the place with Ramsey. Here comes Jackie. Bloomsy sets the fastest lap of the race. Hampan is closing back in though after the poor last lap. Here comes Jackie to the inside. Takes the position on Ramsey. That's wide ahead for Hawash as well, who's trying to fight with Rogue Nico right now. As down the inside goes Ramsey. A bit of bumping and lets the position back. Hammer sneaks through as well. A bit of a mistake there for Ramsey, missing his braking point. But he's getting better and better every race. You can see it in motion. This is certainly someone who's got a bit of potential here. I'm excited to see what happens when he learns. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. You can tell there's potential there, but those who are fulfilling said potential up front, Bloomsy and Hampan, as it has been all race long, the two fighting it out for the win, 10 seconds clear of the next best cars. We are in for a long race here. Due to the rain. Running a 1 minute 40 a lap. Around a track that already has quite a few laps. And a bit of a struggle, I should say, in the wet. In terms of lap time, it's a long one. It is a race of attrition. Right now, it has not struck anyone, but you cannot get complacent because it will. This track will bite if you test it. Ooh, that is a test. The Hampan just about saved. Now, Hampan is struggling to stay within that second. It seems like Bloomsy has jumped. There is the first big mistake. It seems like it's Rogniko maybe has made a mistake in the mix. I can't exactly tell who. Hampan's tyre is very much dead. I reckon he'll be in this lap. Quite frankly, it's not saying on his delta. He's got to watch pit entry. Ramsey gets the time penalty. Can't let them get to him. He is driving a strong race. He's starting to drop back here. Bloomsy extending the gap again. Same ERS numbers. For both of our leaders. Raven into the pits. There is the first to pit. Oh, Ramsey gets a 10 as well for speeding in the pits. So difficult to do here. People forget it is going off mile an hour here, not 50. It is 37. As he retires. Ramsey retires in the session in the pits then. Possibly damage on that Aston Martin. Now we're going to bring the pit stop graphic up. See, it's only Raven who stopped so far. We want to know who's been in and who hasn't for the position. As Carl was going to do a press release, but I think I'll say it here. I'm pretty much sure I'm not going to be Haas team principal next season. If no one else is willing to step up to it, I'll do it, and I've got someone else lined up who will. But I'm very indecisive right now, I'll be honest. This morning I was like, I really don't want to do it. Then at lunch I was like, maybe. Then it's I don't. Then it's yeah, but I've got time when I'm at home. It's a big internal debate. Trying to figure out if it's worth it. Because I can't do that much managing for 11, 12 hours of the day because of work, so progress is slow, but if I could get an assistant, maybe it would be possible. Like I know a lot of teams have their drivers help them run it, quite frankly. Ooh, bit of a snap for Nico. Fight out front, 7/10 of a second. That gap's still relatively close. Raven on the fresh wets is not making too many inroads here. Here's the test to see if they are worth it. Right now it's not seeming like it. Oh, there's a bit of a collision. Jackie and Hammer locking wheels, literally. Jackie gets the time penalty for a collision there. That was a coming to heads, realistically, a blow between the two of them. Nico will look to take advantage of it, but he's got to be careful. He's got Raven take advantage of it on his inside. Here goes Jackie again on Hammer. That's someone into the pits. That's Jackie, possibly for a front wing change. After that, Hammer's made a mistake. The good old switcheroo for Rogue Nico. Raven follows him through. Good fighting here from this lot for the final points positions. Raven is all over the back of Nico and really getting in his head. Nico might go a little deep under braking here because he got on the curb. Indeed he does. Raven will pounce, but Nico holds it to the inside. There's contact made. A bit of front wing flying off of Nico's car. They're side by side still as they exit onto the straight. There's contact. Nico spins Raven. They both recover it, but that is a mistake for Nico. Just misjudged the gap on the inside that had already closed, I think, and contact made between the two of them. Raven, you see, slow down on the grass. That was instantly him clipping his POV of the incident. I'm very sure that will be reported to the steward room. There's a gap out front, down to 3/10 as well. The pressure being remounted by Hampan will leave them be to do it, because this is one we haven't covered much. A fight for P3 or fight for P2 as Puffier has gapped these guys. And right now it's Coffee, but Drem, you can see it's all over the back. The two green machines, they have been racing all race long. On lap 17 of 26, they will continue their fight. As Drem, you can see he is really trying here. The aggression there is quite frankly ridiculous how much more confident he was with his racing line. But Coffee is pulling away. I'm going to restart my party again, just in case. And as the stream tips over an hour, the rundown is Bloomsy has been leading Hampan the whole time. Puffier has gapped Coffee, but has been gapped by 12.5 seconds by the leading pair. And Coffee and Drem have been fighting like crazy for this final, 4P4. That's wide for Drem though. That will let Coffee gap him a little bit. Jackie has gambled on the inters here. We'll see if that works out in terms of his gap to Raven, who is no pushover and is on fresh wet. So fresh wets to fresh inters. We will see which is quicker and if one starts to gain a lot of time. You really want to be watching Jackie to see what he does, because if he sets the fastest lap on them tyres, as Rogue Nico and Raven make a little bit of contact there again, as Nico probably just giving Raven just giving Nico a love tap. just to get a bit of his own back. That isn't something we're going to do actually, but yeah. But now this is the only battle we have on track. So there we go then. Apologies for the pausing, I'm just changing my songs. 13.4 the gap. From Jackie to Nico, that's the big one. It seems like everyone is pitting for Inters here. Now it's time. Now it's time to pit for Inters. It is the faster tyre. It is time. Boxing for Inters is the quickest now. Anyone to the pits. Hampan stays out. Bloomsy has sprung it and is into the pit lane. This the most crucial lap for the race in terms of the results. Everyone else will pit. No, Puffier stays out. Does Coffee pit? No, he doesn't. Jackie is gaining time. This is going to be the big one. Do you stay out for the rest of the race? We'll monitor Jackie's lap times throughout and see if he gains. Because it is a long pit lane here. So if you can stay out, if you can make the wets work till the end of the race, you might as well. Because the time Bloomsy is going to have to gain is well in excess of 24 seconds. Near enough 25 in 7 laps. I did just put in the Haas chat to box for Inter, but I don't think it's worth it. Looking at that gap, Bloomsy has a mountain to climb to win this race. But the Inter is so much quicker. The Inter so much quicker. Bloomsy has already gained 7 tenths on the inroads this lap. Bloomsy past Drem. Puffier into the pits. Does he get it slowed down? Just about. Coffee into the pits. It is time for the Inters, but who's got it right? Is it Bloomsy or is it Hampan? We'll find out on the pit exit. Bloomsy's tyres will be up to some sort of temperature as well. Here they come. We'll ride on board with Hampan at pit exit, and he's made a bit of a mistake there, and it would seem that Bloomsy made the right call. Drem there on his wet tyres is going to be a bit of a block for Hampan, who instantly will be down the inside and will be trying his best now to get up to grips with this track. He's got 2 seconds, the gap to the leader, and he will look to get that down very, very quick. But Bloomsy is already used to these conditions now and has adapted his style to the Inter. Bit of a snap there for Hampan as he's looking to push the limits. Right now it would seem that Bloomsy has the advantage in terms of pace. He's pulled out 3 tenths since they exited the pits, and Hampan may have to adapt his own style a bit if he hasn't changed his front wing angle. They are both pushing like crazy here because both of them have a chance of taking this win. But look at the gain. Look at the time gain. He's gained a second in Maggots and Beckett's. Hampan is on an insane run here. He's really going to struggle to get past on the straights. But you can tell he's over-slowing the car. He's under-rotating it. And yet he's still quicker. It's his race on for the win here. Barring any penalties or any mistakes, Bloomsy sets the fastest lap of the race. But I'm so sure Hampan will have a shot at this if he keeps this pace up. He was a second faster in Maggots and Beckett's last lap alone. And on lap 21 of 26, this race is still very much wide open. It would seem that Bloomsy has the pace elsewhere on the track, but that Maggots and Beckett is something to fear. Hampan gaining as much time on Bloomsy in that one corner as Bloomsy did on Hampan in the entire track in qualifying. So if Hampan can even mildly hook it up at the rest of the track, it will be game on for the win here. Super, super intense stuff here. It would seem like Drem has the pace as well, so maybe it would have been best to stay out on wets. As Bloomsy is extending though, that's the thing, and he's saving ERS. But let's see, if it was a fluke through Maggots and Beckett's, it must have been a mistake last lap for Bloomsy. Hampan's got to be careful to not over push here. The key to a wet track is finding the limit, not going over it, because if you go over it, you spiral your tyres very, very quickly. That gap at the front is ebbing and flowing like absolute crazy here. Oh, contact! Raven in the wall. What on earth was that? Bloomsy sets the fastest lap of the race. And is finding his feet pace-wise. As Nico gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Saji's closed in on the back of Horn on his fresh inters. Saji on fresh inters, that is. Horn on 20-lap old wets, going to try and take them to the end, possibly. That would be an absolute feat. Serious, look at so much more grip in them tyres. Puffy has closed in about 5 seconds in the last 3 laps on the back of Drem as well. Bloomsy gets a time penalty. Advantage Hampan. The ebbs and flows have done it again. 1.6 the gap there. Monitor that throughout the race. We will be on board in the final lap unless there is a fight on track. But Bloomsy now will throw caution to the wind. He must do to win. Saji, a bit of a corner cut there. So it's whether Hampan can stick with whatever level Bloomsy elevates himself to, because he is one hell of a driver. We saw it in quali, the 9/10 gap. But for the first time this race, Bloomsy is under threat. And Hampan may just have a chance at snatching it from him. That's wide from Raven. Saji looks for the gap, doesn't find one. 1 lap pressure tyres for Hampan will make a minuscule difference, but seeing how much Hampan pushes on the throttle, his rear tyres will already be struggling in terms of temperature. He has 3 laps further back. Look at this, Jackie passing Horn into turn 1. Easy move for the Ferrari. Into P10. He now has to pull out 3 seconds on the wet tyre shod. Horn, one of only 4 drivers to stay out, that being Drem, Hawash, Milanist and himself. Saji being pushed off there, brutal by Raven, who now looks to go after Milanist, but Raven himself goes wide. Milanist on 11 lap older wet tyres. It's all hotting up here. The gap at the front starting to extend. Hampan has to settle into some sort of groove. Here comes Saji as well on Raven. Raven on Milanist actually will be the closest one here. Through Copse Corner they go, flying through there. The McLaren all over the back of the Ferrari. Saji in the Haas as well. 3 different cars, 3 different chances of winning that position. One driver who is trying to cement his chance of winning the race overall is Bloomsy. That was an ominous last lap. This yellow flag's out. Further back, that's Hammer's had a spin. He recovers it onto the track. He's got to be careful because the leaders are now there. As he must adhere to blue flags as well. He will know that better than anyone else. As Raven and Milanist fighting it out. Wheel-to-wheel contact. Saji as well might get the switch back. No, through goes Hamilton for him as the 2 Ferraris pass each other, and now Saji looks to get involved on that. I saw a bit of front wing flying off in the mix as well. As Hampan's dipped out of the gap, Drem has been passed by Puffier, who gets himself into that podium position. Now Hampan has to push, has to elevate himself to another level because he is behind that 3 seconds advantage. Bloomsy. Oh, mistake for Hampan. Big mistake. Big mistake. Now he's got it all to do. He's got 7, maybe 8 tenths by the end of the straight. On no battery in 2 laps. This is going to be a difficult one for Hampan. He's got to get them tyres cool and got to go again. He's now 2nd behind his interval that he has to be within. Perfection is the only tolerable thing now for Hampan in terms of winning this race. He will know that, and that will be even more pressure. He's reduced it to 5 tenths off the window. This is going to be incredibly tight here on the penultimate lap of the race. My voice very much is trying to break out on me here. But we will keep trying, striving, as the drivers are. Here comes Jackie on Raven to the inside. Saji is now all over the back of Jackie after braking too early from Jackie. But here they go, side by side, as they enter the final chicane. Seems like that's all as it was. Hammer tries to stick with, as Drem's had a wheel disconnect. Drem's wheels just DC'd. Heartbreak for Drem, who was in P4 and looking strongly to get it. His wheel has disconnected on him and he's gone spearing off the road at the loop. Absolute heartbreak. Disqualified from the session. But here we go then. If there's anything left of your popcorn, you might want to grab it now, because this is going to be the fight for the win. Between McLaren and between Haas. Bloomsy to lay out the race as a whole. Bloomsy took pole by about a second, and Hampan has been fighting with him all race long. And it has come down to this, a time penalty of all things, that will separate the win here at Silverstone. Hampan pushing like crazy to try and get within that 3 seconds. As will be Bloomsy. It has to be quali mode for the both of these drivers. That's a bit of a mistake there from Hampan. Corrects it nicely, but he's lost 6 tenths in the mistake. He has to pull an absolute wonder, Maggots and Beckett's out, to have even a chance now. But he's a strong driver. He will know that. He's already gained 2 tenths in that corner alone. Here we go then. Does he do it? There's 1 right. There is 2 right. Keeps the car in check. And that's 3 right. and he is gaining and gaining and gaining. The overtake will be deployed for this entire straight. 2.9 seconds the gap now. If he just so hooks up this last few corners as he has all race long, it will be a win for Hampan. Just 2 corners to go. He's within the gap. Who will win this race? We have absolutely no clue. Clean through the last few corners for Bloomsy. He will cross the line to take the checker flag. Who's going to win it at the last? Is he out of fuel? He's out of fuel! Bloomsy takes the checker flag. He's won it! Out of fuel in the last. Heartbreak for Hampan. And before the race, me and him were talking in the chat about the fuel loads. And it's bit him. At the last, Hampan runs out of fuel. Bloomsy snatches it from Hampan's grasp. It was there. It was there for the Haas driver. It is drama. At the last, Bloomsy takes the win, followed by Hampan after running out of fuel before the last corner. Puffy a P3. That is our podium. The rest of the positions I'm too tired to read. My God. As I'll be honest, I've been chatting in the chat. Yeah. As the Haas team principal, I am a bit heartbroken because I did suggest a fuel load to Hampan, sorry. Just checking if he over or under fueled because I suggested to go even. Kept right on 26 laps. Oh, you bastard. It was, throughout the race, it was bang on even. And then it was just that last interstint. Chucked it the wrong way. Man. Alrighty, I'm going to round it out there. Thank you for joining this incredible race. I hope you all had a blast. I certainly did. I'm going to go and recover my voice and chat to the Haas guys. Have a good one.